springs, like even in America.
Not in America.
I was
That's
about to say,
you
like,
have to
damn.
go like foreign places.
I
Like
think,
I want to
maybe
go.
Colorado. I feel like Colorado probably has some good
they have
ones.
springs. I don't know if they have hot springs though.
Like I want to go to some fucking like Iceland.
Iceland
hot
would be
spring.
sick.
Iceland
I've
would
always,
Iceland would go so brazy, bro.
bro. If we brought a fucking pack of Natties, Bush Lights to fucking Iceland, yo, we could go so hard. We could go crazy with it.
Thanks,
Saturday
Dad.
lights.
Naturday. I'm a Naturday saint, brother.
Oh my god, dude!
I
There's
praise
totally
to the Lord.
There's totally a frat dude right now saying that. It's Saturday at 4 o'clock.
It's like time to start with the Naturday stains.
Naturday stains is also something that goes on in a frat house.
Yeah. You throw up on yourself. You're just covered in Naturday stains, bro.
I'm a Naturday saint.
You guys went hard on Naturday, I see.
That's my favorite national holiday.
Frat culture is so gross to me.
it is.
Even I'm a senior in college now, and it's like I didn't really have a whole college life that I was participating in. But knowing a lot of people that have participated in frats and are not only going to frat parties but in frats themselves, it's like I've been to parties hosted by frats and they're so bad. It feels like they're
just not fun. It's all just like you go there for the express purpose of drinking and fucking.
Yeah.
And doing drugs.
That's the entire purpose. Yeah. Well, like overdoing drugs.
Yeah, true.
Also, can't forget that, I got a job interview. I got to drink bleach. Like a cap of bleach and flush your system.
That
is a story he's directly referencing. That is not a joke.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. The fact that like, let me just drink a cap of bleach. Like, I understand that you're a frat child, right?
But the thing is, it works.
But you're also just a grown ass man.
Yeah, I mean, I was a freshman at the time, and he comes in. He's talking to this other dude of the room that we were, the owner of the room we were just chilling in. He's like, yeah, I got a drug test, I think in like 2 days or so. And the dude's like, oh, you want to do the bleach cap trick again? He's like, yeah, I'm probably going to do it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I was like, what? It worked. He did it and it worked. That guy's not going to live too long, but
yeah, I mean, like probably because your body's going fucking haywire.
Your body's probably made to absorb chemicals like that because of how many drugs
all the
you're
drugs
doing.
that have been in your system. You're genetically changed. You're just an actual freak mutant of nature.
You're like generating mustard gas in your stomach.
Anytime he farts, like the place clears.
Everyone passes out.
Yeah, no, it doesn't clear. People die. It clears of consciousness.
A true bioweapon.
The ultimate drug, huffing farts.
I love fart jars, bro.
Welcome to the NULL Thought Podcast.
We always do the intro whenever we run out of ideas. Whenever the conversation falls
point.
I think that was a good transition there.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
The stark contrast of a super serious podcast.
True. I literally woke up at 2:59.
Oh my god!
I know you didn't say anything all day. I was like, we're recording at 3 or so, right?
And 2:59 rolls up. I'm like, let me know when you leave, because Andre was washing his hair.
Yeah,
and I knew at that moment I have more than 10 minutes. Immediately, I knew I had more than 10 minutes.
I told them I'll leave in 10 minutes, and it took me like almost 20 or 25.
I laid in bed for another 15 minutes.
Is that
a sound file?
Oh yeah, the concept that we were talking about earlier is in high school.
The concept, high mathematical,
I don't think it was recorded at all.
It wasn't. Yeah, but the thing that we were talking about earlier was I had a friend in high school, Jared. Shout out Jared. He got a bunch of people to memorize and become alert to this one particular like tapping on the desk, some sort of movement.
He's Pavlov dog.
He literally Pavlov dogged like half the student body, at least in our grade. So like multiple times when we were taking district tests or something that is like a statewide test, and we're all like locked in these rooms doing these exams.
Imagine being in the ACT test room and then you hear this tone and like the whole
you
thing.
have to do it. You're like, I gotta do it. It's literally like it was some kind of combo where it was like, and then like you end on the elbow smash on the desk. And like, I remember people were doing it so frequently that the proctor started to take notice of it, because during the test, it happened like 4 or 5. Yeah. It seemed like they were like, what's going on here, guys? And then no one said anything. And then we just continued doing it.
Dude, it's like thieves can't.
It is true, thieves can't. Fuck.
Jared doesn't know the power that he had.
He has the power to manipulate so
Imagine
many people.
being a school icon. Couldn't be me. I was kind of unknown in the street.
I moved
kind
in
of
the shadows.
He's kind of a funny anomaly. Well, no, because he was someone that didn't give a shit about like popularity or anything like that. And he was great at baseball as a freshman. He got varsity freshman year.
Damn.
So all these other dudes are like, bro, this dude's insane. I got to be his friend. And Jared, not wanting to make contact with any of these people, they would know his full last and first name, and they'd be like, hey, what's up, in the hallway, and he'd be like, hey, and then he would be like, I don't know that kid like at all. And then when he started doing this elbow smash thing, it was like it came to be this whole ordeal because everyone took notice of it because that he was who he was freshman year.
Imagine not trying to be popular and still being popular. Like that shit's kind of crazy.
That's some anime shit.
He's
the main character, bro.
He's Psyche K, bro. He's just super popular.
Cool.
I love that anime.
It's really fun.
It's so fucking good.
I haven't seen it. What's it about?
Basically, it's just this guy who has like every single Esper ability, and it's a slice of life daily kind of bullshit, but it's like a whole thing it's a narrative basically about how his powers, like they don't, like people hype them up, like the idea of those powers, but they're really super impractical, and it just gets in the way of his daily life, and he's trying to live a normal life, and so it's just kind of fucked.
So it's like a hindrance?
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he just like he just moves through his life like he's kind of cynical, but he's also kind of like there's some optimism in there.
I watched the first episode with Jenny, and I don't think I watched any more of it.
Wow.
I don't really know.
It's one of those shows that if you watch it while you're high, it's a lot of fun.
I feel like most animes like that, though. You could probably get through like a pretty dog shit anime.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you watch like slice of life anime, I assume that you're drugged up half the time. I can't do it personally. I like a little bit more anything in my anime.
Some plot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically like a sitcom in anime form.
Yeah. Those, what pisses me off the most about anime is just watching a bunch of like middle school girls play instruments. And you know exactly the one I'm talking about.
Fuck, there was one that I watched a while ago that was literally just like that. It was some dude who's really good at the piano, but like his mom, I guess, pseudo abused him. She was like super strict on his piano abilities. You probably know what I'm talking about.
Your Lie in April?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that everyone talks about.
Yeah, but
I didn't really
that
like
one.
it that much.
I kind of cried too.
Really?
That one. There's a couple anime like in particular that I've shed a bitch tear over.
I feel like I saw the ending coming from a mile away.
I
like
know.
from the
It's
first episode.
so
I was like,
fucking
she's
obvious.
spoilers. By the way,
Oops.
It's old as fuck.
Yeah, it's fair. But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, it's like media that I know is fake can like I just break down all walls, and I can just cry a bitch tear, and it's great. I enjoy it.
it's like you're seeing it from the overlord perspective. Like, I know it's going to happen. I'm gonna rid myself of this knowledge just to watch it.
Pretty
and then
much,
act like I don't know what's going to happen.
Like watching Violet Evergarden, after the 3rd episode, you know everything about this show is going to be fucking like horribly sad, depressed, and you're going to just feel terrible.
Yeah.
But you finish it.
well, that's like Grave of Fireflies, because they show you what happens in the first scene.
It's like JoJo in the opening. You know everything that's going to happen.
Yeah, they do show like everything that's going to happen in this
you're
season.
watching part 1, and it's like it's showing scenes from like part 6.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
They did that in Naruto too, though. Like in the opening, they would be like exactly who the villain is, what fight scene they're in.
Who kills who sometimes even.
Yeah. It's like they show a particular high amount of this character in the opening cutscene, and it's like
you know they're gonna get fucking annihilated.
They did that real well.
I really like anime openings that kind of lead you astray. Because like we were watching Jujutsu.
Well, Jujutsu Kaisen has like almost nothing to do with it. They just show characters and then that's it. They show like the main
I kind
premise
of appreciate
the
that
story.
because like they kind of disconnect the opening from the show itself.
Yeah.
Where it's like you don't know what to expect from the opening. Where sometimes anime, it's like, well, I know 3/4 of these characters are dead now.
By the end of the season, you're like,
The I think like with Jujutsu Kaisen's opening, it's like it's showing them like in their day-to-day life, right? Like it's never.
I don't watch the intro like actively.
Isn't it like
it's
like
pretty normal?
Like do they have like fight sequences in it?
I don't remember.
Because like I know that the outro they don't have any fight sequences.
Yeah.
It's like all just like them in their daily life, which I think is kind of interesting.
You know what fucking pisses me off about anime?
What?
The outro of every fucking anime is just them walking across the fucking screen. That shit pisses me off.
Or like
you can't think of it. Them walking like, and then new characters keep coming up behind them. They're still walking, and
like the enemies and the heroes like all are together chumming around.
Absolutely, and it's playing this happy-go-lucky song. There's maybe a sunset in the background. They're just fucking going.
It's too fourth wall.
Pisses me off.
I don't care about the characters. I want to see them die. Show me out of sequence death scenes.
Yeah, I just want an anime that like the show order is actually just backwards.
Something that rewatching Jujutsu Kaisen with you guys has showed me a lot of isms that anime has done in like the past, I guess, 10 years. Honestly, since Naruto, where like Jujutsu Kaisen is very much its own thing, but it has so much akin to Naruto watching back on it. Because like the whole school where you get these abilities, like the demon inside of you type beat, and then like
all of a sudden school tournament arc.
The school tournament arc gets disrupted by an organization of enemies. It's wow.
I love that there's
sensei with white hair.
I don't love it actually, but fucking the fact that there's like this build up, this massive arc, and then instantly tensions is gone. It's like, all right, we're gonna be fighting the sister school over.
It's like a little filler arc, but I mean it turned into something more though.
Yeah,
the tension built.
It's like imagine 9/11 just happened, and then the very next day it's like, oh, we're gonna go play kickball.
Each episode.
Like, what the fuck?
And then 9/11 happens again 3 episodes later.
Yeah. And Pearl Harbor happens.
That's the way. That's fucking My Hero Academia. Like quite literally, it's like a fucking tournament arc. Something major happens.
Massive terrorist attack.
Yeah. School festival.
30 children dead.
Yeah, like 2 people died. School festival time. Forget that it happened.
Yeah, you know, most times it's just like, you know, let's have a week for mourning or something. Nah, we in this.
Yeah, I wish they showed characters like they always show characters mourning about other characters way beyond the actual event that happened. It's like I want to see these characters depressed. That I want to see a realistic, you know, stages of grief type scenario.
I feel like if you watch a lot of psychological horror anime, there's this one that I recently saw of this one girl who like she can see ghosts, but the way she deals with it is that she like actively ignores them, and like they're trying to interact with her because you know they're trying to see like, oh, this human can see me, but it's fucking great. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a recent anime.
That's literally also Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Jujutsu Kaisen. It scratches
the clan shit.
Yeah, it scratches a Naruto itch for sure. You know, there's a lot of cool powers.
It really does fill that kind of void.
It's like this is Naruto, but in a different universe.
It's Naruto, but more concise in one season.
Oh yeah, sure, for sure. And I think the world building is a little bit more natural. Like they do like exposition or whatever in Naruto by like explaining things with like graphics and maps and stuff, and I think that's cool. I actually think it's helpful to kind of paint a more holistic story, but like in Jujutsu Kaisen it's like they just kind of do shit and you like understand it as it goes.
You know what I fucking loved about the most recent episode of Jujutsu Kaisen that we watched? it wasn't some third party describing the fucking abilities that, you know, they were going. It was two members of the fight analyzing each other.
Yeah.
Instead of some dude be like, no way, Itadori used his fucking super finger and he flicked his ass, he flicked his balls, dude.
No way, he broke his finger.
That's a testicular torsion.
And instead it's the guy who got his balls flicked being all like, he flicked my balls.
He broke my left nut. I'm powerless. He knows that's my energy source.
This combat analysis.
I can't channel chakra through my left nut now.
Yeah, the fucking I don't know the dude's name, but like the speaker dude. He's like the main announcer.
Fish boy.
No, not right.
Wait, what's speaker dude?
It's the dude. It's the only dude that uses. Oh no, I was gonna say the only dude that uses sound as like ability, but that's not even correct in the show.
The guy who can only speak in rice ball ingredients,
and like sushi ingredients.
The cursed speech user.
No, I'm talking about. You were talking about fucking My Hero Academia. No, Itadori is Jujutsu Kaisen, but Midoriya is fucking My Hero Academia. That's what I was thinking.
I haven't actually seen all of My Hero. I'm sorry, but I've seen season 1, and I'm like, I can wait.
Honestly, it gets really good. I think there is a lot of build up that happens to it, but it's the way that they progress is actually pretty interesting because they show the villains from the very first season and they show them progressing as well.
Yeah,
and like the most recent anime arc is like mostly about the villains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have any like qualms, any problems with My Hero Academia, but it's just like I just didn't want to watch it. It's kind of the same boat as like Attack on Titan with me, where it's like I saw the first season as it was coming out, and it's just like I didn't follow up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially with huge breaks that they take between seasons, and with Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia similarly having such slow starts. Well, I think Attack on Titan was pretty exciting, to be honest, in the beginning. But there's
like the fact that I feel the need to rewatch like the very beginning to kind of understand what's going on going forward. It's just kind of annoying when there are large breaks. I'd much rather just binge 128 episodes in a weekend, you know, on 2 times speed kind of thing.
I mean, I watched
like a college professor.
I watched the seasons as they came out. And I feel like I haven't had too much issue with it because the way that they go back, there's a lot of things that are referenced back, specifically speaking about Attack on Titan. There's a lot of things that they reference back, things that they mention early on in the season, or things that maybe was a loose end that they come back to.
You watch the My Hero movies?
No, I don't watch anime movies.
It was actually like, from a pure animation standpoint, that shit was fucking awesome.
Really?
Like,
yeah, anime movies had a lot of a higher budget.
Yeah, the fact that like the time that they took to like animate certain scenes, it reminds me of all the fight scenes from Fate Apocrypha, which
never seen it bad.
It is kind of bad, but because a lot of the times they have like these really intricate fight scenes, but you can tell like their time and budget is super short, and so the animation style that they use is that they remove a lot of the elements because you have all this high speed action going on, and basically that means that you're watching like the environment as it crumbles and explodes. It's just a bunch of squares. Yeah, that's really all it is. It's just a bunch of nondescript, untextured squares. You kind of can tell that it's floor, wall, column, but other than that, it's fuck all nothing.
My favorite anime-ism is when a huge explosion happens and it's just smoke and then debris everywhere. It's like you don't actually see anything happen.
Yeah, and then the smoke fades and the character's still standing.
That's like
they're like bleeding from head to toe.
That reminds me of like Naruto in the pain fight. Like when they're like running across the water or whatever, and it's like,
dude, that fight particularly,
it like low. It's like if quality set at like high at the beginning of that fight, it gets dropped to fucking low.
Well, I think they took in like third party or guest animators for that fight. Well, that's why Pain looks so fucked up. There's the one scene where he does like the I guess the hammer smash or whatever that looks so fucked up. It's so memed on. I think it looks good in terms of the fight.
Yeah, it works. Yeah,
sectioning it out, it looks super weird.
Yeah, the thing about anime is that you're not supposed to look at that shit frame by frame because they have a bunch of exaggeration frames that are supposed to amplify the impact of these things. Where it's like instead of having like
He's literally
like
Sonic running across water and shit.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at something like Cowboy Bebop. All those fights, it's a lot of quick impact kind of things. Where in something like Naruto, it's a lot of like wind up, and then you need like this explosive kind of finish. And it's interesting seeing different styles of like basically just fighting and how they view
Fight
what
sequences
like,
and
fight
stuff.
sequences are. Yeah, the choreography of it all.
Yeah, in Naruto, that's why I think I like Jujutsu Kaisen's fight scenes a little bit more than Naruto's, because Naruto's were like, this is an attack I'm going to do. It can either be one big attack or it could be like I spawn 500 shadow clones and they all do like one punch at a time.
Yeah,
but it's
500
like that,
shadow clones who all do one big attack.
or something like that. It's like they do it in sections of attack from character, attack or counter attack from character, blocking attack from character, and then it's like dialogue in between each of those. While Jujutsu Kaisen is like they kind of sprinkle in dialogue between the
Jujutsu Kaisen kind of has like the Dragon Ball fight aesthetic, where it's just a bunch of it's just two people constantly fighting, and then there's events that happen in between those punches,
which I think I like more, to be honest. It's a little bit, it's like very slightly different than most anime fight sequences, but I think I like it more because it feels better watching it. It has a better progression.
There's more. I was just gonna say, it's like, you know that other shit's happening. Like it's not just like you're tunneled on this one fucking thing.
Feeding me. It's not spoon feeding me the dialogue, and it's like I'm going to do an attack, and it's like, ha, you wish, and then he does the attack. What?
I never knew you could do this attack.
What do you guys think was like the your starting anime? Have we
It was
talked about this on the podcast?
Naruto, yeah.
Naruto?
I started watching Naruto when it was airing in America on Adult Swim with my mom.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Oh wait,
I didn't understand what's happening at all, but I was like, this is so cool. I was like, I'm Sasuke.
How old are you?
It came out, I think it started airing in 2006, so I was probably like 7 or 8. Okay.
Dude, the outro in the first season was so good. The
like the original series.
Yeah,
I don't remember. You watched it like recently.
Yeah, I watched it recently.
I didn't watch the original series of Naruto. I mean, since 2007, 2006.
But
dude, I miss Toonami.
Yeah.
Dude,
what I was about to say is that actually my first anime that I watched was Sword Art Online, the first season. Yeah.
Like, no, you know what? I appreciate the Sword Art Online first half of the first season.
I enjoyed the first season for the most part.
I feel like even in the books, because I went through and I read the books to like understand why the first season after the first half was so dog shit. And the books have the same fucking problem. It just skips midway through. You would imagine with the ability to write as many fucking books as you want, you would at least have some progression. But no, it's just like, yeah, we're on floor 70 now. Okay, cool.
Good to know. I'm glad we're here.
Another anime that had dog shit progression was Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul is so disappointing. I was in my emo phase when I started watching Tokyo Ghoul. I was like 15, and I was
still
like,
in my emo phase.
I remember scrolling through iFunny.
Oh no!
For a particular date on this. Yeah, I know. And I remember seeing images of like Kaneki, I think that's the main character's name. Just being super emo and shit. And I was like, I should watch this anime. So I was watching it, and the first season
was a white hair Kaneki.
Wait, is it the one picture where he's like the one guy, like with
with the one guy who does the thing?
No, you know what the fuck I'm talking about.
He has the white hair, the one red eye.
Yeah, the red. Yeah,
he's cracking his knuckles.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, that is actually dumb.
About that, I cracked my knuckles like that, and people think I take it from fucking Tokyo Ghoul. I'm so mad.
You do
Honestly,
take it from Tokyo Ghoul.
I did it before.
It's pretty cringe looking back on it. Well, the thing is, like, that in the anime, if you watch the anime, it's done in a really cool way, and I'll explain to you guys. It's like
I've seen it.
I haven't.
Well, then I'll explain for Anthony. People who haven't watched it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The first season is great. It's like he's a very like tortured individual, which is like, take it for what you will. I think it's pretty interesting watching an anime character that's like so heavily beaten down for something that he doesn't even want. It's kind of just like shit happens in life and you kind of have to deal with it.
We need more bottom representation in
He's a super bottom. Like, you don't even understand. And they make him extreme. The way that I'm getting off on too many tangents here. season is great. I think it's like a great start to an anime.
Dude, the second season.
The second season. Well, okay. First of all, the anime for the second season completely removes itself.
Oh my god!
It completely removes itself from the manga, which is
It's like Full Metal Alchemist.
it's like
kind of
it's like route.
fucked.
They literally market it too. They're like it's route B of the manga, and it's like what is this? I didn't realize that watching the anime. I was like. Because they never animated it past that, and the manga kept going. So I was like, "What is going on here?" And I realized why they didn't ever fucking animate it because they didn't know what to do after the anime. So I started reading the manga, and it's pretty good up until, like where the original, quote unquote second season would be. And then it just goes dog shit from there. It's like they set up this god enemy of like the opposing force, and he beats them instantly. I'm like, what the fuck? Well, no,
also, they established Kaneki as like some like Christ euphemism.
Yeah, like oh my god, he's literally a white savior, dude.
Yeah, he literally is. They establish him. That's the same problem I had with the fucking. I don't have a problem with it.
He's got a problem.
But Doom Eternal, they basically just established Doom Guy as like this Christ entity, essentially. And so many parallels to religion. I talked about it on the podcast before, but it's just, I don't mind that you do this, but do it tastefully. That's that's respectfully all I ask for.
Especially when you're doing something like that. It looks even more cringe if you don't do it tastefully.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or recognize the entire aspects of it.
I understand like taking that route though, because it's like you're slaying demons and you're going into like a hell world, but it's like it couldn't like there are concepts of hell that aren't like Christian, like
you can pull
eternal damnation.
Everyone pulls like the Dante's Inferno bullshit, and it's like okay, Dante's Inferno is really fucking cool. The idea of like those concepts of hell where like everything is all about eternal suffering, and you're supposed to learn these lessons that like people aren't worth it. Like people aren't worth your time, essentially. That's the whole like premise of Dante's Inferno. And it's kind of fucking crazy. Like it's a really good, deep lesson.
An interesting perspective.
Yeah. And everyone, I feel like, hasn't fucking read it. They're like, Dante's Inferno, 7 floors of hell. We gotta save everyone, dude.
We gotta save everyone from hell.
It's like, whoa, did you read?
That's honestly the same thing as Tokyo Ghoul too, because it's like he finds himself in between like the two opposing factions of the ghoul group and then like the CCG. I forget what they're actually called. It's something like that.
The cum gate,
CCG,
cum control gate.
Well, like after what would have been the second season, he has like amnesia for some reason, and he comes back as like a completely different character. Yeah, great plot, by the way. I think it's a cool setup, but they immediately ruin it by having him like just turn back like 4 episodes or so later, or what would be 4.
Let's go back to being a pathetic child again.
Yeah, he like remembers everything. Well, they do the same thing that Naruto does, where it's like this inner demon. It's like this evil version of himself that is, embracing ghoul ideology of like fuck humans and shit. He has like this version of himself talking to himself, and like because the end of the first season has him get captured by
Persona. Like the game seed.
Yeah, his ghoul Sona is like talking to himself. At the end of the first season, he gets captured by this group of ghouls, and he gets like quite literally tortured, like for 3 episodes straight.
What the fuck?
And that's where he learns like his finger cracking shit, because the person that was torturing him would do that, and it was like a
stress response, essentially.
Yeah, it was something that was like psychologically something
ingrained
that like
in him.
Which is a really
it changed his
premise.
personality. Yeah,
and then
I think that
fumbled the ball.
literally, like quite literally, and then they turn him into like a beta bitch.
Fumbled.
They turn him into something that's kind of like an awkward cross between a beta bitch, but someone that can literally do anything that he wants.
He's Sigma.
But it's so dumb. It just feels like I don't care about him anymore.
I bought him when I want to.
It's like he has no struggle after that point. It's like he literally kills every single enemy with no matter how little training that he has. He has no idea what's going on. He's just like, I'm gonna go fight this person because I love my friends, and then it works.
What is that called? Like a Jerry
Seinfeld?
No. No, I'm thinking of Larry David, I think.
That's a Larry David.
That's a Larry David right there. No, but like I know for women characters, it's like a Mary Sue, like someone who comes
John
in
Doe.
and is no, because that the opposite of that would be Jane Doe.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like in media.
Now I know what you're talking about.
know?
I'm gonna look it up.
Because it's like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like he's like one of those characters where he's just like he comes in and he's fucking shredded and can do anything that he wants.
I like the
He has no
idea of
struggle.
him being like weaker. That's the whole. I don't know if you guys have ever seen
It's Gary Stew.
Gary Stew.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen
I like
Tokyo
Jerry
Revengers, but the protagonist in that anime, Tokyo Revengers.
Oh yeah,
that's a great anime, by the way. And they set up a character. I think that's like the perfect beta main character, because his character is literally like he can't stop crying and he wants to defend his friends, and it's all about him being able to protect his friends. He makes these friends and he wants to, do everything that he can to protect them. But in terms of, I think that's like a good character. He has progression and character development. But Kaneki's like, I was tortured and now I'm a god. And then that was at the end of season 1. It's like nothing else
My
happens
mental
to him.
state is no longer weak from torture.
Well, he's still, that's the thing. He still is weak, but they don't ever care about that. They're like, his personality is weak as fuck, which is fine, but they don't ever show it again. He's just like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it other than it's a complete disconnect.
There's this one anime that I saw many, many years ago at this point. I don't remember the name of it, and I've been looking for it like ever since. But the whole premise was that it's
Muyo.
the whole thing is like it's Tokyo something. I know already that, but the whole premise was that there's like this squad or something or. It's so fucking hard to describe, but the main character is this dude who like ends up interacting with the paranormal, and he has to go hunt down these things for like these pieces of like some god entity or something.
That's just Jujutsu Kaisen.
in a way, yeah. But I just remember at the end of the anime, he has to kill his lover in order to fight the final boss. And that's such a cool fucking premise. And it's like amazing. And I wish I knew what the fuck it was. Because I want to rewatch that shit. I remember my dad showed it to me, so I might ask him again.
Yeah, he might know.
Have him on the podcast.
Yeah.
No.
No. Have you watched so many anime that you're like, I don't even remember what I watched?
Yeah,
it all blends.
I'm
to be
the
fair,
same way.
Yeah.
The same way I play video games, I'm very jaded to my experiences now at this point, where I've seen so many tropes in my life where it's just I kind of don't give a shit about 80% of the things that I see, and it's kind of a sad reality. It is, but also. At this point, I feel like I've just distinguished my taste enough where that I know a good show from a bad show in my perspective.
I think that's good, though. I think it's good to be able to search for that kind of quality, though, because the shows that do stick with you end up sticking with you more.
Yeah.
And things that are truly unique.
Yeah.
But also then the things that stick with me end up being so few and far between than just kind of a shitty experience.
I mean, that's fair. It's just that like you have what's it called? Like you're exposed to so many stories, and it's like
the art mindset.
Yeah, and it's true that like a lot of stories have similar plot lines, but it's like reskinned, and there might be
there's
a little
reskins
twist
that are really good.
Yeah, true. Yeah, for sure.
They're all borrowing from each other.
Yeah, but
all
that's all art everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's very hard to find. Or almost impossible to find like truly unique original art.
What are you guys' least favorite trope?
Least favorite?
I think
trope?
the clan shit is kind of annoying to me.
Clan shit?
I think it can be done interestingly, but going back to
I hate the KKK.
It's kind of cringe. That's all I'm going to say about
going
it.
back and rewatching Jujutsu Kaisen. I realize it way more now, where it's like almost every fighter anime, every shonen anime has that kind of trope in it, and it's like, okay, I get it. Like you dejected from the clan. There's someone that you have. This
there's
vendetta
always
against
the
it.
one guy who was banished from the clan. He's got to come back, do some shit.
Yeah, it's like a subplot arc that I've seen 1,000 times,
and then it never finishes. It never concludes ever.
Well, spoilers for Naruto coming up here, but like when Neji dies, it feels like nothing happens.
Yeah, because it's like in the middle of the war or whatever,
and
they just
literally
move on.
they're just
to be fair though, it does. I haven't seen this part of Naruto, but
you don't need to.
In the middle of a war, some person dying probably has 0 to no effect of the overall thing.
Yeah, they'll be forgotten.
Like it might like. At the end, they might do some follow-ups like, oh, I'm so sorry Neji died or some shit. But it's like,
He dies and that's it.
It's kind of realistic. It makes
it's like,
sense that someone just dies in war, and like war is hell. You know, that's how it is.
Have you guys ever seen Saving Private Ryan?
I remember like trying to watch it.
Yeah. Have you?
But I was also a child.
In the beginning, like it opens up, if I'm remembering correctly, like you open up like on a boat, like of soldiers who are like
Storming.
Yeah, they're storming Normandy, but they're like on the boat, and like they're like bantering and they're talking, they're smoking cigarettes or whatever.
Just get sniped or something.
No. Well, once they start approaching, like you start to hear like distant fire, and then some people get shot. Like the thing opens up, some dude gets shredded by a minigun. Yeah. Like people get fucked up. Like the first people that you get introduced to.
It's a real, a very real.
I think that's done very well though, because it shows the direct juxtaposition of being. That can happen in real life anyways, because you're just sitting there having fun, and then all of a sudden a fucking mine goes off, and like, 3 of your best friends are dead. It's like, that makes sense. But in terms of the way they portrayed it in Naruto, it's like my friend that I've known since I was literally like 12 gets killed for no other reason than just to die for. It's not even for plot.
I forget why he died.
Literally nothing. They had like 10 episodes where Might Guy goes like all out on his, and they had this whole thing where if he unleashes all of the gates of his ability, he dies, and there's no coming back from it. Turns out that's not true, and that he lives. But Neji doesn't even alt. Neji doesn't even alt, and he dies. He's just alt. They're just like,
it wasn't charged,
saving
bro.
his alt. He's inting.
He literally like the last cool thing that Neji does is in the original series of Naruto when they're in the training arc.
That is true. In the training arc, he was OP, and then he just stuck there. Like he didn't progress past like the fucking when they were like 3 or 10 or whatever.
He's still a tuning.
It's like, what the fuck, dude? It makes me so angry looking back on it and remembering that happened, because I liked Neji as a character. I thought he was cool. Interesting. Yeah. He at least had personality, where he's a little bit like stoic, not like Shikamaru stoic, but he was at least like thoughtful.
And I think like they had a really interesting backstory that they had with him and a Hinata or whatever, where they
fuck
brother and sister, baby. But like where like Neji is like a part of like a bad bloodline or whatever. So he's like sealed to protect Hinata, who's like part of the good bloodline. And I think that's like a pretty interesting premise.
I don't remember this.
I don't remember that either, but it seems interesting.
That's like why Neji has like the headband. Yeah, he's got like the thing, and Hinata doesn't. Yeah.
So yeah, and then they're just like,
they throw him away. Yeah.
It's not even a tech that's like going to destroy the world that he sacrifices himself for. It's just like, I'm gonna do an attack. Oh, it hit Neji. He's dead.
Oops, I killed Neji.
Fuck, it hit Neji. Everyone knows he doesn't have plot armor. Come on.
Neji's made of glass, dude.
I'm gonna sacrifice my paper skin and glass bones.
And I'll use my ultimate ability, sacrificing Neji.
I think Naruto's like, I'm gonna alt, go Neji.
He just throws him.
I think the one thing that's interesting about that is it really shows the contrast of the power dynamic, where Neji is just like, he hasn't progressed. Yeah, he really is he's a like relatively powerful ninja, but other than the people fighting in the battle, he's kind of just
entity.
He's mid tier. He's literally mid, and he dies for it.
Compete with like the fucking like the only people that can compete with like the resurrected ninja heroes or whatever the fuck,
the god alien too.
Even that shit. Like the only people that can do it are like Kakashi, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura. Not even.
Well, even Kakashi in that case.
The thing is, like, I always assume Kakashi was like he's just like,
he's a badass.
Yeah, I know. I realize that, but also like the way he was always been portrayed is just like this kind of above average ninja who's like kind of just made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and early on, he seemed like pretty powerful for what he was. But they give him more and more abilities as like Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura.
Yeah, he grows. Yeah, he continues to grow.
He grows, but like I've always been under the assumption that Kakashi just kind of makes it because he's smart, kind of thing. You know?
I mean,
it's like
he's pretty crafty.
He survives because of his ability to adapt, survive.
Well, it's mostly the Sharingan, because like when Obito gets resurrected, he suddenly has all these abilities with the Sharingan. Sharingan. It's like as Obito gets these abilities, they give it to Kakashi as well, which I think
it kind of makes
the
sense.
eyes are connected.
Yeah, I mean they're the same eye essentially. Also, it's really funny that eyes work like fucking plugs.
They just put it in. It's like they're modular or some shit.
Literally, it's like
Dude, what if Naruto just stole Sasuke's eye?
Yeah, true. They should just trade one eye.
you know how many eyes get traded? They trade them like fucking baseball cards in the end. They're like,
Yo, you got a Byakugan, bro?
I'll trade you. I got all fucking Mengeki Sharingan.
Yo, check this shit out. Pulls up a
Case of eyes. Where did you get these?
This one's signed.
It's signed by Madara, bro.
I'll give you one of the 9 tails if you for your
Yeah, they're
eyes.
trading tailed beasts. Yeah, all the fucking like birth
like
defects
fucking-
in
yeah.
that show.
They're just baseball cards, really.
Yeah.
Birth defects.
Yeah, it's like I'm born into this tainted bloodline, but it gives me god powers if I use it. If I kill my brother.
Yeah, my left toe can shoot a laser.
I got it from my grandma, who is the left toe god ninja.
The left toe deity.
The left toe sage of the hidden feet. It's
Village
a lot
hidden
of,
in the toes.
yeah.
My grandmother had to
God.
crush her toes to stay childlike in size.
Oh my God.
His birth defect was given to me.
They kind of just make up shit as they go.
That
They're
was-
like, oh yeah, the Renegon is a part of the Sharingan
That's
shit.
Well, it's
All the
also
eyes
connected
are
to the
connected.
Byakugan.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Which is
think
like-
I think that's kind of interesting because it's like it shows like because like everything's connected through chakra or whatever, and like it kind of like adds to
The
that
life
whole
energy.
yeah,
Well, it's
it
like
like
if you
adds to
have
that whole
chakra
thing.
of another dude in your body, you could just do whatever the fuck you
Hell
want.
yeah, brother.
It's like you can summon any ability that this dude
Hell
had.
yeah!
And I think that's kind of a dumb trope.
It's not like that they can do it infinitely because Kakashi, like when he would abuse his Sharingan, it took a huge toll on his body. Like it doesn't really, or it takes a lot more for that to happen to like
And it makes
like
sense.
a Sasuke or Itachi or something.
Yeah, and it makes
like that.
sense for Obito's case how he was able to do it so willingly
Yeah.
because it's literally his eye.
Mhm.
And it's I think the idea of having the Renegon being like this god eye, and then they just make it the same level as everything else. They don't even use the abilities of it anymore later on.
Yeah, they did like because it's like if you use the god eye, then you push yourself into a power creep.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
and
what
it's
happens
probably
when
why
you realize
they're
you
afraid
messed
of
up
that.
your scaling.
Yeah,
What I thought was pretty interesting is like the design for the Sage of Six Paths.
yeah,
Book,
it was really cool.
The Sharingan and the Renegon, even though they kind of left the Byakugan out of that.
Well, it's just
they
like
combined
blank.
them. Yeah, it's literally like the background of the Renegon. I thought that was kind of interesting though. Like it made sense why they were kind of connected like
Yeah.
that, but the Sage of the Six Paths had the Renegon.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's just the Sharingan. It's a part of that.
Yeah, the
It's like,
Renegon
okay.
can do the Sharingan abilities. Or
But then they
whatever.
don't even keep that. They're just
Yeah.
like, oh, you have both now, and you only
Oh yeah,
care
doesn't
about
Sasuke have both or something?
Does
yeah,
he?
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he does,
Madara
yeah.
gets both. I think Obito gets both or
Yeah.
something like that as well.
Because they're just
Something
like
along
they're
the lines.
mega powerful.
I have to pee.
Oh,
Like a weird kind
We're
of
back.
anime.
Alex back from his pee break.
Yeah.
I like what I've seen of Boruto,
Wrong.
which isn't much.
How much? Okay.
It's like
Did you stop like watching it?
I mean, I just haven't watched it. It's not like I chose to stop watching it. It's just
No,
I
it
haven't
sounds
gone
like
back
you've
to it.
chosen to stop
I
watching.
stopped
do that with
watching it.
I do that with fucking every anime.
Yeah, like
that I watch.
JoJo.
Yeah, and I did that to Naruto as well.
If we
after
were,
his
if
shoot.
we
Jujutsu
weren't,
Kaisen.
yeah, if we weren't watching Jujutsu together,
yeah, I would. I wouldn't
it'd be
have
like
it
I
down
got to
by
the
the
third
18th.
episode.
Yeah,
Watching Boruto, I was, since we were talking about Naruto a lot again when we first like started doing the podcast more consistently. I remember starting to watch Boruto, and it was just so fucking boring.
really. I mean, like
It probably has the
I
same.
feel-
It's probably the same thing that Alex goes through with a lot of anime, where it's like watching the first season of something. It's just like I kind of just don't want to watch the rest
The
of
thing
it
is, like Boruto resets the power scaling again. Like it does.
until they get to the heavier arcs. From what I've seen,
Yeah, I think
then Boruto instantly turns into a god again, right? Some shit like that.
well, not Boruto, but they introduce, or they
I remember
reintroduce
seeing
the other
some-
characters.
I remember seeing some shit with Boruto, like some clips of it where Boruto just goes like ape mode monkey
there's
man. And
there's
it's
an-
like
well, like the thing
super
about his
god
eye.
entity.
well, there's
Yeah,
a
yeah. What's up with fucking Naruto and eyes? Like get a different fetish, man. Like fuck.
the only
Get
thing
some
you
like
could draw.
special fingers or some shit.
I don't know what arc you're specifically talking about, but it could have been like the one where he had like he had the technology or whatever. Like it was like a jujutsu caster, so he could
Jujutsu caster.
So he could like
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Epic name drops in anime.
so he could like use like any chakra or whatever, like or any power, and shit like that.
You know what Boruto reminds me of?
This is my Boruto next generation.
Boruto kind of reminds me of the Legend of Korra.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of see that
in the way that Boruto, in a sense, is the industrialization of
something that
ninja
didn't
arts.
have a lot of industrial elements.
Yeah,
It also feels in the way of progressing. It feels like it's just they set you up with
society moving forward.
Well, not only in terms of world building, but I think in terms of the characters as well. It feels like we leave off on a point where they try to make it like they reset the power creep, but then they're like, well, how can we just forget about all these god characters that we set up? So
well, they come back. The gods come back. And they start fighting.
That's what I'm saying.
Kill
though. It's
Naruto.
like they start with Boruto and like he's going through the ninja school again, and then it's just like wham, god characters.
Well, because I think like I don't know, it's because that's something that Naruto does a lot, is that like where things are kind of chill and then all of a sudden like something fucking crazy happens and then they're in a
Madara
fight. Like
pops up when Naruto's a fucking child, you know? So it's like it makes sense. Yeah. It fits within the narrative.
And there's like
but it's like they're progressing to that point. Like this thing is happening. I mean, Akatsuki existed before that too, like when he was a kid.
Well, with the gods thing, I think it was that they had just shown like some presence and like Sasuke was trying to find them or like find some way to get to them. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't necessarily mean like just because after some conflict, it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll come down and just fucking shit on everyone.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like the whole, like it's kind of like what Breath of the Wild does with their the entire premise of the video game. You start the game and also your only objective is beat Ganon, and then your entire journey leading up to that point is like, well, we've established this god entity, right? Ganon, right? You got to go throughout this entire journey to beat Ganon.
He's not a direct threat to you yet until you go through these.
It's the same reason why like Madara was introduced. Is like, okay, here's your god entity, defeat Madara. Yeah. And then everything leading up to that point is the hero's journey to, essentially defeating this big bad.
Something that I kind of liked with that too is like the whole idea of the Akatsuki is something that is very forefront. Yeah. Especially at the end of, well, it's not very forefront in the end of the original Naruto series, but in Shippuden, it's definitely the main event for the first half of the series. And then it's like everything that happens after the Akatsuki's dissolution is basically the event of that dissolution. It's like Obito is now, he was a part of the Akatsuki, and now they're finding out who the fuck this person is. Well, yeah. I
gotta start like stealing anime plot lines for like D&D and stuff.
Yeah, it'll work.
Like honestly, just a bunch of tropes
I think
are applied really well.
The trope of like the anime or the anime enemies being in a gang, essentially, I think that's really interesting because you get a lot of personality and dynamics between the characters. It shows a lot. It's not just like I'm here and I'm bad.
Yeah. I think it was really but I think it was really interesting the way that they humanized the Akatsuki a lot. Like every member of the Akatsuki, like I'm pretty sure.
I like Deidara and the way that they did that a lot. Because he's kind of goofy. He was really reckless, and I think that made a lot of sense for his character.
Yeah, it explains it. And then like with Pain, Obito, or I don't think it was Obito, but Pain. And then who are the other two that Pain was chilling with? The blonde chick and then someone else.
Blonde chick.
Yeah, I think the paper girl.
Blonde.
She's blue hair. Yeah. But I think like that whole thing, like humanizing them, I think it's really cool.
Like how they were friends. Yeah. And there was the direct similarity of like them learning under Jiraiya, and like as the sensei triplets.
And then they just kind of went down a different path. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because I think that was really cool, like their origin story, because the Village Hidden in the Rain was like in the middle of all these great wars and such. It has a lot of direct real life comparisons because it's like countries that have major wars going on like all the time, civil wars and stuff. This happens
like border
to
disputes
people.
And stuff. Yeah.
Not that the Akatsuki is going to come out of a fucking war torn country.
The Akatsuki is just the Taliban.
I mean, they're like a super terrorist
inspired.
I mean,
because like they are a super terrorist group.
They do some crazy shit. they do some fucked up shit.
Deidara and Sasori literally like try to bomb the insane village.
And Pain does bomb it.
Yeah.
With a moon.
The Hidden Leaf Village.
Yeah.
He's like,
But I think the world building in Naruto is so fucking cool. Like all the conflicts mentioned and like the way that they would show maps and you could see like, you know, how like disputes were, you know, playing out and shit like that. And they give you like the history of it all. Like, I think it's really cool. It kind of makes it feel like it's a real world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. An interesting tidbit looking back on it now is that the way that they set up history seems like it was so far long ago, but in reality, it's not even like 3 generations long.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean,
fucking
3 generations kind of long. It's like what? Fucking.
I mean, it's relatively long,
years.
but in terms of the way that they
for 3 generations.
Isn't it 15 years?
Is it?
That's what I thought. I could be wrong.
I mean, it's probably like 20 something.
It's pretty arbitrary. You know what I mean? Like, I think a generation is kind of defined by like, certain cultural aesthetics, you know, or even values.
It's more linked to the idea of society rather than
the
you know,
year,
the year or like
look at
age.
Look at in terms of the Hokage specifically. The first Hokage, what was his name? Hashirama.
Yeah.
And then his brother was the second Hokage, and then the third Hokage was literally the one that Naruto grew up with.
Yeah.
And like,
to be fair, he was old as shit.
He was very old, but that's what I'm saying. It only goes back like 3 generations. I mean, he was from that era, which means like
true.
The start of the ninja world was like it was maybe like 80 years before Naruto was born.
The Big Bang happened 80 years.
And they set it up to be so much longer ago. They're like, oh, back, you know, way back when, even though it's like 80, 60 years. It's like, okay. Like all this ancient forbidden knowledge, the fruit of chakra came down maybe in the Industrial Revolution.
Well, to be fair, I think wasn't that shit that happened like when the Earth was being
I actually don't know.
Yeah.
But I
don't know what Naruto like Earth formation lore is.
It's like I don't know if they have actual formation
lore,
but
it goes back to when chakra was first introduced to humans, which is literally, I think this is kind of dumb, but it came down from like, an alien, or there's a tree that she ate the fruit and she gave some dude the ability to manipulate chakra.
She took a shit on the ground and a plant
fertilized the tree of chakra.
And then like Madara and Hashirama were like the 2 like sentinels of like all the power, and then Sasuke and Naruto were the
what the fuck is this mythology?
Yeah, so there's
that's
like
what I'm saying. It seems like mythology, but it happened to their grandparents.
Yeah. Well, like the what's it called? I think
the reincarnations of them too.
There was like the queen alien bitch that like made chakra on Earth, and she had 2 kids who like ran 2 rival clans basically, and it was like
that clan shit again.
Yeah. And it was like
what's the same anime too?
One of the clans, like they're very much like the ideology of Naruto, like helping people, like, you know, bringing.
And then the other one was evil. Let's kill everyone.
No, not evil, but like more so like the ends justify the means. You know, like we'll accomplish whatever we want to get done as long as like, you know, as long as we get it done,
as long as we flourish.
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with that ideology. Not gonna lie.
I mean, there's give and take to both. You know,
wrong.
There's usefulness in either.
I feel like they set it up in a way where it's understandable why they want what they want and how they do, or
Fair
how
enough.
they.
I still like haven't finished out Naruto. I'm stuck with her like 14 or something, and I just kind of don't care.
At this point, we've told you everything that happens in the story.
Honestly, I don't need to watch it. I've skipped all the filler and I've gotten just the juicy
bit. If you skip
bit.
the filler, it's like half as long.
Yeah.
The amount of times they have an unannounced filler arc just in the middle of it. I remember watching the whole section where Naruto's going to that island to train or something.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever he's doing. It's like right when he starts mastering Kurama's chakra, or like using him correctly with Killer Bee
at the fucking waterfall.
Wait, hold on. You guys have seen Boruto. Is the whole time travel thing a filler arc?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far.
Because I know there's time travel. I haven't
watched that part.
Which is weird in the first place.
I don't know.
It just feels like fan service. That's all it feels like. I mean, maybe. Knowing that it exists is like, wait, Boruto gets to see Naruto.
Yeah,
kid.
I think, yeah. But to be fair, like in Naruto, there was like shit where like it wasn't time travel, but like Naruto was able to see his father and like his mother. You know, like it was in his head, you know, but he was able to talk to like
Well, 'cause
his
the-
chakra essence or
the
whatever.
seal holding
Oh,
Kurama
yeah.
back was part
Yeah.
and that's the whole thing with like having another person's chakra inside of you. You basically are them at that point.
Yeah. Which is
Which
kind of
happens
weird.
so much in that.
Naruto
Yeah, it
should have
does.
fucked his mom.
Yeah.
Well,
Canonically,
all right,
he
that's
is his dad.
That's the end of the podcast.
Incest cast.
Thanks for coming to the anime episode.
Yeah, the whole anime episode.
I'm
love
not a
you.
weeb, by the way.
We are weebs.
I
I love
fucking
you.
hate anime.
Bye.